Christopher Dorner, this is Charlie Sheen. You mentioned me in your manifesto, so thank you for your kind words. I am urging you to call me. Let's figure out together how to end this thing.
A manhunt is underway in Southern California, and the Los Angeles Police Department is under siege.
Police officers hunting one of their own, a rogue former officer now accused of hunting them.
Former LAPD officer Christopher Dorner on the run after allegedly killing...
We have identified Christopher Jordan Dorner as a suspect in this double homicide. Of particular interest at this point in the investigation is a multi-page manifesto in which the suspect has implicated himself in the slayings.
Dorner accused specific officers of covering up police brutality by making him the scapegoat.
I'm not an aspiring rapper, I'm not a gang member, I'm not a dope dealer, Dorner writes in his manifesto. I am a man who has lost complete faith in the system when the system betrayed, slandered, and libeled me. In court documents filed in connection with a wrongful termination suit, Dorner claims the LAPD fired him after he reported having witnessed his superior using a taser on a mentally ill suspect. Then he said seeing the superior handcuff the suspect and kick him in the chest and face. The suspect and his father offered testimony corroborating Dorner's account at the time, but the official grounds for Dorner's firing providing false testimony in an investigation. The police chief at the time was Bill Bratton.
I really have no recollection of his particular case. He would have been fired by me.
The manifesto vows vengeance. I will bring unconventional and asymmetrical warfare to those in LAPD uniform, whether on or off duty.
If you read his manifesto, this is a very... LAPD is a specific target, but all law enforcement is targeted.
When the truth comes out, the killing stops.
Signs like these, armed and dangerous, are on every freeway here in Southern California. Police hoping that someone will spot him. But so far, no one has.
Of course he knows what he's doing. When we trained him, he was also a member of the armed forces. It is extremely worrisome and scary.
At 10 o'clock last night, police say a man fitting Dorner's description tried to steal a boat in San Diego. He was unsuccessful. 1:25 a.m., an hour east of L.A., police officers acting on a tip exchanged gunfire with a man they believed to be Dorner. 1:45, Riverside. Two more officers on a protective detail ambushed. One killed, the other seriously injured. By sunrise, jittery L.A. police officers opened fire on this blue truck in Torrance, similar to the suspect's vehicle. But the people inside were just innocent bystanders.
Tragically, we believe that this was a case of mistaken identity by the officer.
One major challenge for authorities, because of his police and military training, Dorner knew all their methods and tactics. In that manifesto, he even taunted the LAPD. I have the strength and benefits of being unpredictable, unconventional, and unforgiving, he wrote. I will utilize every bit of small arms training, demolition, ordnance, and survival training I've been given. It was no idle threat.
Remember, he was not only a former cop, but also former military, an expert marksman to boot. Dorner apparently dressed for war in combat gear. His arsenal, an assortment of rifles and possibly explosives. In short, my sources said this man was lethal. Someone they knew going in had a death wish, Diane.
In the mountains northeast of LA, a truck set ablaze. That truck turned out to be Dorner's, but the suspect was nowhere to be found. Dorner seems to have vanished, faded into the snow.
We're going to continue searching until either we discover that he left the mountain or we find him, one of the two.
Christopher Dorner's run from the law began to unravel here. Karen and Jim Reynolds say they came face to face with Dorner when they went to check on one of their ski lodge cabins around noon Tuesday. He was holed up inside.
Pretty scary.
Did at any time he talk to you about why he was doing what he was doing?
Yes.
He had said, I just want to clear my name.
He allegedly tied them up, took their car, and then sped off. Dorner once again on the run. Chased by police, he abandoned the stolen car. Then up the road, police say Dorner carjacked Rick Heltebrake.
Dorner jumped out of the snow at me. He pointed his gun at me and said, I don't want to hurt you. Just get out and start walking up the road and take your dog.
Dorner raced off again. This time a fish and game warden spotted him, and that officer engaged in a life or death shootout.
Dorner realized he had been recognized, rolled down his window, held his pistol out the window, and shot at the two wardens in the follow vehicle. Miraculously never hit either of the two wardens who were inside.
But police say Dorner did shoot two other officers during his run yesterday, killing one of them, then holed himself up in a cabin. As local news choppers hover overhead, SWAT teams surround Dorner and begin firing.
The shots you're hearing are all from guns and weapons that are being fired by law enforcement officers.
Police say they fired tear gas into the cabin. Then came the flames.
We have fire in the front. It might come out the back. One shot fired from inside the residence.
By nightfall, the cabin burned to the ground, and inside, authorities say they discovered a lone, charred body. Police said tear gas canisters may have started the fire they believe ultimately engulfed Dorner, but not on purpose.
We did not intentionally burn down that cabin to get Mr. Dorner out.
We now know the name of Dorner's final victim. San Bernardino County Sheriff's Deputy Jeremiah McKay was killed in Dorner's last shootout with police. Telling the Associated Press earlier this week, we're hoping this comes to a close without more casualties.
These images tell the story. The charred foundation, all that's left of a cabin in the woods set ablaze. And police believe that Christopher Dorner was inside. While in another part of Southern California, police gathered to lay one of his victims to rest, one of their own.
I even told him,
You don't testify against your fellow officer. This is Three Musketeers. What were you thinking?